So, can I do planks during pregnancy? I get asked this all the time, and I get asked by trainers a lot, but planks are really great to do during pregnancy. Or I get told that planks are a really good core exercise during pregnancy because it's not a crunch. And this is just such a superficial way of looking at the topic. And again, like I've said in previous videos, pregnancy is dynamic. It changes throughout the course of your pregnancy, and so whether or not planks are appropriate is also going to change throughout pregnancy. You don't look the same 1 month pregnant as you do 9 months pregnant, and the implications and the changes to the core, to the abdominal muscles are huge. So why would the answer be the same? It won't be, and that's what I want to discuss in this video. So are planks a good core exercise to do during pregnancy? Again, I want to talk about the biggest thing that's going to impact this, that's going to influence or affect what is happening in a plank is the size of the belly. So until you start to show, you can probably carry on doing planks. Like, I'm not a huge fan of planks anyway. I teach women how to do push-ups, which is doing a plank, but has other benefits to it as well. I think planks are a bit of a waste of time and a bit of a lazy option for trainers, but I get a lot of shit for that because everyone loves planks. You can just get someone doing a plank for 2 minutes and 5 sets of that, and they seem happy because they're working on their core, but am I really giving them any benefit during this training session? But that's a whole other topic. The fact is that planks are probably safe during that first trimester. Let's separate this up when you don't have a belly and when you do start to have a belly. So when you don't have a belly, for the first month or 2 or maybe 3, you're going to look, your abdominal muscles are going to look and behave much the way they did before getting pregnant. So if you were doing planks before then, like, it's likely the planks are gonna look the same and feel the same and have the same effect throughout that period when you don't have a belly. So it's probably perfectly safe to do, and nothing else, and nothing is untoward is happening. You're not creating a diastasis or whatever else. However, I see lots of people in gyms who aren't pregnant who do planks because they think it's a good core exercise, and their tummy kind of bulges forward, or like the rectus abdominis kind of falls forward, and it's not kind of staying in place, or the abdominal muscles aren't staying flat. Everything's kind of hanging down. Like the abdominal muscles aren't strong enough to keep all your organs like up in place. So everything's sort of hanging into the abdominal. If you look at yourself, or if you look at other people doing planks, and see if that the rectus abdominis is kind of hanging forward. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here, but what's weak? Like, is the rectus abdominis weak because it's not holding? It's not able to kind of like fully contract, or against all of that weight. I think what's happening inside your body, all of the organs are on the front abdominal wall, and there's going to be weight and gravity pulling that down. Is it the transverse abdominis and the obliques that are holding the rectus abdominis in place, that are not withstanding the load here? But it's not simply a case of doing a plank. If you look at people's bellies when they're doing a plank, everyone is doing it differently, and a lot of people's abdominal muscles are behaving differently, and most trainers aren't checking this. So how effective a plank is in the general population, in the non-pregnant population, is an entirely different but relevant discussion here, because is it something that's beneficial anyway? Maybe, if the abdominal muscles are behaving the way we want them to, if they're just hanging down with the weight of the abdominal organs in them like a hammock, how effective is that time that you're spending in the plank? Is it really making your abdominal muscles strong? Is it really making them is it really toning them or strengthening them, or is it really making your tummy flat? I think in a lot of cases it's not. Anyway, let's assume that during your first trimester your tummy stays flat, you don't have a bump yet, and planks are kind of safe, an effective way of training your core. Okay, cool. So then what happens when you get a belly? So when you, even before you get a real belly and really start to show, you got to remember that you've got a whole cocktail of hormones going on that are making things start to get a little bit, like all of your connective tissue start to get a little bit kind of less tense, and kind of a little bit more relaxed. So you may find that you bulge even before you have a belly, and this is a big thing. Bulging is kind of a big thing, and it's a big thing to keep in mind postpartum. Are you bulging in the plank during your pregnancy? Is your belly kind of falling forward? And that's the biggest thing that I want to look out for with my clients, whether they're pregnant or not. If they're bulging, I think that exercise is too difficult for their abdominal muscles to cope with, and so you have to reel back the movement so that it's easier for those abdominal muscles, and it's a level of difficulty that the abdominal muscles can cope with. As your tummy gets bigger, it's gonna kind of fall down, and you'll see this if you do kind of just sit on all fours. The tummy sort of falls down and kind of droops down. As the tummy gets bigger, I would argue that this isn't something that we want to be doing. On all fours, it's different because the abdominal muscles are relaxed, but in a plank, you've got to really tense those abdominal muscles, and you've got to hold it really, really statically. And I don't think that's a very functional position for a pregnant woman to be in. There's no reason why we would need to be in a plank position. And so there are probably other kind of core exercises that fit better with what our body needs to do right now. And it's certainly, if you're kind of like bulging into the if your abdominal muscles are bulging down, then I would say that's probably not doing you or your core muscles any good. And when you start to bulge, it's going to be so different from woman to woman. It's going to depend so much on abdominal tone, so many other factors. So so you really need to just, look at yourself in a mirror, get someone to video you, get someone to check you and see if it's appropriate. In any case, during the later stages of pregnancy, I don't think that planks are particularly effective, or particularly useful or particularly functional for a pregnant woman to do. I think moving more dynamically and challenging the core in different positions and in different movements is more important than, and in movements that are dynamic, that flow, is more important than just the static position that we just hold for a really long time. Remember that your core works in everything that you do. We also want to create responsiveness in the core where it responds to breath. We get that piston breath going. We get which is something that Julie Wiebe came up with, where we breathe in and the diaphragm descends, the pelvic floor descends, and the belly expands, and then everything goes back on the out breath. we want to get the core working in that more dynamic way, rather than just kind of static and holding and not moving anywhere. I've got a whole bunch of sort of non-conventional core exercises on this channel, and I'll do a few for pregnancy as well. I hope that was a useful discussion of when to do planks, how to do planks, if they're even useful, and that it sort of gets your brain juices going a little bit, and encourages some critical thinking about how useful planks are at this time during pregnancy. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any more questions, and if I can clarify on that any more, I'll try to do so. No, but for now, thanks for watching.